Hello and welcome to a discussion with. I am here today with the Medfield High School Alumni Association. I am joined by three of their executive board members, President Leann Bravo, Treasurer Nick DeSantis, and their Secretary John Carter. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. You guys it's such an important group, a part of our Medfield community. It's a way to join not only just the Medfield High School students amongst themselves, but also the Medfield High School graduates to the rest of the Medfield High School community, or that has graduated and is now out and about in the residence. What is that like for you guys to kind of join everyone together like that?
It's awesome to see young alumni, even some who aren't alumni just yet. There's a couple people in the high school that have helped us in the past with some of the events, especially with the John Panciaco softball tournament that we just had back in October. So to see people who haven't graduated yet that are about to become alumni, and those who have been alumni for 20 plus years together it's awesome. And those who have graduated in the past that are no longer in Medfield, but they're in the surrounding areas, for them to come back, really makes us feel and reassures that there is a strong sense of pride.
You guys do so much for the community, where it's donating for, I know we talked before, you guys donated the trophy case, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the high school. You give scholarships, you put on events for people to network at and build that community. Different things that you guys do to benefit not only the students here, but also the community at large, which is fantastic. Your mission statement, I think, is great, is embodying a sense of pride and appreciation of traditions. Medfield High School empowers teachers to teach and students to learn. So how do you guys do that? What are some of the things that you guys do to help push that mission statement?
I think that's what we envision for the future. Getting re-engaged with the high school. With the students, we give them scholarships that will help their future endeavors in life, get through college, and that of the like. So I think we have some work to do with that mission statement. I love the mission statement, like you said, and I think that there's more to do with it that we haven't hit upon just yet.
I think connecting the students is a big deal, because I know in Medfield sometimes there's a lot of people that might be alumni that don't really know the opportunity, the options. I know I've been in town basically my whole life, but I hadn't really been engaged until recently. Being part of this alumni group has really helped me connect and reach out with other people. And I think it's also interesting to really connect the classes that were partly in discussions with I think class of 75 like that. And I think it's just interesting to sort of get a generational look, almost to see how things do. And to bring the teachers in would be a really nice thing too, because they've seen different classes. It's just nice to connect. I mean, we live in the age of social media with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and I think it just makes life better, more interesting. I know it has in my case.
Leann, you're president of this organization. I know that, we've talked before that you're really driving a new image for the Medfield Alumni Association, not only figuratively, but also literally. You guys changed the logo, which I love. It's got the old and the new Medfield High School logo in it. It's that idea of bringing the old and the new together.
And not forgetting the old either.
Not forgetting the past, what made Medfield Medfield, as one of your famous Richard DeSorga always says, what makes Medfield Medfield, right? So what is it that you think is the most important thing that you guys are doing that you can really drive home for people for the Alumni Association?
Bringing that together is important. I think that going back when we first started the Alumni Association, I think that it was very focused on the old alumni and not looking very much to the new generation of alumni that were coming out. And I think that that's what we're trying to, again, is bridge that gap and bring the old classes and the new classes and the future classes all together.
I actually attended one of your guys' events over at Nosh and Grog. You guys had the networking event. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. People should definitely look out for your guys' events. How can they find out about your events? Where can they see what's going on? How does someone know what your events are putting on?
So the best place would be our Facebook page that's updated almost, if not twice a week, every day.
I know before we sat down, it was 2 minutes before we sat down, it was updated. So,
Yep.
it was.
So that's our main communication right now. We're on Instagram, and we do have a website and a LinkedIn, which aren't up. The website's in progress, working on getting a new website together, but Facebook's definitely the best. If you want to sign up for events, notifications, you can send us your information through that, and we can add you on for event notifications.
We're also, most of our events going forward will be on Eventbrite. So we do also have an Eventbrite page that one can follow as well for that.
Do you guys have an event coming up right now?
We do. April 4th at 7th Wave Brewery, we are doing a trivia night. It's going to be 80s, 90s, 2000s general, and then, of course, Medfield trivia.
That's awesome. Now, I did see on your page the bonfire, which is you're sporting the lovely T-shirts right now.
The old style.
Yeah, the old style. What are we looking for with the T-shirt sales, with different things that are going on there? How can people get a Medfield alumni T-shirt?
The link is on our Facebook page. They're really good. They're good quality, and price is pretty good. Lots of options: sweatshirts, T-shirts, long sleeves, baseball tees,
I think
bags.
There's a bag on there.
Yeah, mug.
Yeah.
I think there's a mug too.
Yeah, and it benefits us in two ways. One, there's a portion of the sales that we get, but more importantly, it's the brand awareness. It's getting our name, our logo out there, so people that know that we exist, so people can see us outside of social media. Because there are some alumni of older generations that aren't on social media, and trying to get in touch with them and bring them in is a goal that we have. There's a very, it's not too narrow, but there is a narrow set of alumni graduating years that we have because of the ways that we've been reaching out in the past. So to help broaden that and expand that, we hope that having the T-shirts, the apparel, whatnot, does get us out there and reaches just about everybody.
And if we can even just get one contact for one class, that's our way to make sure that the older graduating classes know that we're here. Because I think that that's a huge thing, is that we want everyone that graduated or will be graduating to know about us. And I don't think that we're out there like we want to be. Just if they ever needed reunion help, and we're trying to start helping. We have a class of 75 right now that's come to a couple meetings that didn't know how to get the word out for reunions, because when they were doing their last reunion, it was basically mailers. So to try to help them with the newer Facebook events and stuff like that, and how to boost your tickets.
Showed results.
It has.
They've gotten more so far to date, that more than they thought.
And theirs isn't until
May.
So for them to be looking in February that they've gotten this awesome turnout so far is great to see, because this is the first one we really helped with. So it's kind of good for us to know that we're doing something.
We know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And now you guys on your website are trying to collect a database of the alumni. You're trying to really build a database for people to be able to connect and utilize, which I think is a fantastic way to do that. So people can go and type their information in just for you guys to have. So when their reunions do come up, when events do come up, you can reach out to them and give them that.
Yeah, and there is an option to not get notified of events and stuff if they don't want to get my weekly emails, but.
Now, what are some of the other things that you guys are doing? I'm seeing that you have different goals. There's the Hall of Excellence. What's the Hall of Excellence that is on your website that you guys have?
Every year, the high school inducts an alumni into the Hall of Excellence. Nominations are sent in to the principal. We're hoping to get involved more with that. We've already initiated that discussion, so hopefully we'll be getting involved in that. But every year they induct someone, and they give a speech to the graduating class of that year. And it's an awesome way. There have been quite a few people that have been in there. Richard Disorder is obviously in there. I believe one of the earliest ones, I do believe that they not one person, but it was all the alumni that had gone off to fight in
I
World War
believe so.
II that weren't able to graduate because they were fighting for our country. I think that last year, I could be wrong, but I believe it was the Secretary of Defense or a previous secretary, someone in the cabinet of a previous presidential cabinet. Uzo Doba's in there. From Orange is the New Black. So that's what they do, and we hope to get more involved in that.
Obviously, one of the more important things you guys do is a scholarship to the seniors. This year, you're giving away 3 scholarships. And what's so important, one of the reasons why people should be donating and supporting the Alumni Association is for these scholarships. The amount of money that you receive in fundraising goes towards these scholarships. It kind of balances out in that sense. You guys are giving away 3 scholarships this year. I'm very excited to see that you guys have a new scholarship that you're giving out this year. So the first one, obviously, is the one that shows dedication to the community. That's a $1,000 scholarship. The second one is the John Panciaco scholarship. Can you guys tell me about that? Why was it so important that you guys started this one?
John Panciaco was such a heavy influence on so many people in the Medfield community. He was an alumni and was a teacher at the high school. He was a coach. I do believe he was also the assistant athletic director. I never saw him without a smile. The kids were always so comfortable, confided in him, and we wanted to honor him. The best way that we thought we could do that was having a scholarship in his name and dedicating it to those who wanted to go into the educational field. We had one of our best fundraisers ever, which was the softball tournament. And we brought in about $3,500 for that, so that's exciting. So that puts 3 years to the Panciaco scholarship, and we're just going to keep adding to that. But we thought it was the right thing to do.
There was never a time that Medfield High School didn't have John Panciaco. So to do this for not just the school community, but for his family, his daughters go there, John Panciaco was always going to be at that high school. He was such a influence and mentor. Like whenever we talked to anybody, that was what came. They were an influence, a mentor, and somebody that they knew that they could always talk to. So to be able to do this, I think is one of the best things that could have came from this. And just to see the kids that had him come back for him was amazing.
He was such a heavy influence on their lives.
That's amazing. And of course, the third scholarship, the Medfield famous Lord's Market, the William J. Scholarship, J. Kelly Scholarship is, so all 3 of those being given out this year. Now, it should be noted that the applications are closed.
Correct.
They closed last week, so applications are closed. But you guys go through the scholarships and you choose 3 winners for these. John, what's that process like? What's it like going through some of these applications? What do you see when you see these applications come in?
I know when I've read them, what I get out of it is the individuality, that each one is different, each person is special, and it just really shows how diverse and rich this community is.
I think it's amazing that we're talking high school kids that have done so much. Like, it always blows me away to think about at 18 what I was doing, and to see what these kids are doing. Like I had a part-time job through high school, but to see that some of these kids like play sports, do their full or their part-time job, babysit in addition to their part-time job, always just blows me away, because you hear so much negativity on the kids growing up today and how they don't have that drive, but
Work ethic.
Every scholarship we get always shows that these kids are getting high grades and holding jobs and then looking towards their futures, and that always makes me really
and the work ethic is amazing. I mean, the William J. Kelly Scholarship is all about we ask that people write about a part-time job they've had during high school and how that's impacted them and how that's, you know, kind of made them a better person and added to their character. And every year there are more and more kids that have these jobs, that have great work ethic, and that, you know, that helps to mold them into the great people that they are, and sets up a great base for them in going forward in the future.
And also to think of Medfield and how affluent it's made to look. I mean, I know it is, but to see some kids writing in an essay for a scholarship about why they really need the scholarship, like because their parents can't afford to send them to school. I think here in Medfield that gets lost. We just assume that every kid is gonna afford the school they want to go to and not have to worry about it, and that's not the case. There are kids that are living here that can't afford to go to a school. So to be able to help them just a little bit is huge. And like, I think building on that, at some point it would be great if we could, you know, have enough money to be able to say, you know, here's a scholarship, but also like if you need financial assistance for books, like someday I think I would like to get us to the point where anonymously you can, you know, email or write or whatever, call us, and we can be able to provide something
So
for books or,
you know,
meals.
We strive to grow the scholarships. That's kind of why we're here. That's where the money goes, is into the scholarships. You know, from time to time, like I mentioned earlier, the book, you know, the trophy case and whatnot. So, you know, money goes towards that, but our main focus and drive is the scholarships and the students. So the more fundraising we do, the dollar amounts go up, and then the volume of scholarships we can give out go up. You know, we could do 2 general scholarships. We could do 2 Pansiaco scholarships with higher dollar amounts. So that's really what we strive for in our fundraising.
One of the great things is that you guys have in place things that people can do to help donate, to help raise these funds. One is these events that you're putting on to give your information, just simply being a part of the Alumni Association. But on top of that, you have the alumni giving, the senior giving. This is an interesting one. You guys started this out this year. This is the first time you're doing it. And you donate the amount of your graduating year. So before anyone else freaks out like I did, I was thinking, I graduated 2008, so am I supposed to donate $2,008? It's not. It's just $20.08, right? So it's your dollar amount is the first 2, and then it's the cents is the end.
Yes.
But
which
we'll
is
take
fantastic.
2008.
Obviously, yeah.
Gladly take it. But so that's such an important thing. That's such an awesome way to connect back to your graduating years, to give that donation amount, you know, and that's awesome. So it's a great way for people to donate. Who came up with this idea? How'd you guys come up with it?
So it kind of was built upon our senior giving, which we've been doing since the Alumni Association started. Every year the graduating class gets a letter explaining what senior giving is, which is the year of graduation. So we kind of took that concept and said, well, what if we reach back out to previously graduated classes and do the same type of donation structure, taking your graduation class. So I think that's how it's come from. So we're looking forward to seeing how that works out.
It's a great way to remind people too of when you graduated, when you're, you know, and just to connect back with that. So I think that that's an awesome way to do it. And then obviously the sponsorship form. If you guys put on all these great events, you guys put on all this stuff, to be able to be someone who can donate back to the Alumni Association, get your word out, be able to be at an event, it is an incredible opportunity as well.
Yeah, the sponsorships are more important than they may seem. These venues aren't free.
And if anybody has a venue that they want to donate to us,
if you can hold 130 people somewhere, you know, and you want to donate it, fine by us.
Yes.
But you know, that's not an expectation, because you know, we know they have to make money and they have to survive. So you know, the sponsorships are a great way for, like you had mentioned, you know, small businesses in the area or big ones to give us a small amount of money to help go towards the costs of the event, but also to get their name out. We've been blessed with some great sponsors coming up for the trivia night, and we're always looking for for more, and it helps us so much because a lot of times we'll go through and the location can hinder whether or not we actually have the event or not. So the sponsorships will allow us to have more events, bigger events. So they're very important to us.
Let's just say this, how can someone get involved? Someone sees this, they want to be involved, they want to help out, they want to give towards the scholarships. What's the best way for them to contact you guys?
We have an email address. It's medfieldalumni@gmail.com. Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger. We're everywhere.
If anyone wanted to mail in donations, they can send it to us at the high school. We do have a mailbox there. So it's 88R South Street in Medfield. And if they just put MHS AA or Medfield High School Alumni, whatever, that's a good way for them to get donations in as well.
Well, let me tell you this, guys. I love what you're doing. I love the new brand, the idea of what you guys are putting together, the events that you're putting together. As I said, I've participated in a couple of them already. So I look forward to what we're doing, and I can't wait. Thank you guys so much for coming on and telling everyone about what you're doing.
Happy to do it, Brett.
Thank you for
Thanks
having
so
us.
much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
All right, and thank you for watching. Go out and support the Medfield High School Alumni Association and show the high school seniors how much you care about them. Thank you guys so much for watching.